While Nolan McLean was busy carving up the Astros down in West Palm Beach with the Mets, the rest of the team was here in Port St. Lucie for another spring training workout, and they actually played in an intra-squad game this afternoon here at Clover Park, a sim game that featured all four of the regulars from the Mets lineup that are being slow played this spring and haven't gotten into Grapefruit League action just yet. That's Jorge Polanco, Brett Baty, Francisco Alvarez, and Luis Robert Jr. A couple notable arms on the mound as well. Christian Scott, who's now back from Tommy John surgery, started, as well as Brandon Waddell, and then Carl Edwards Jr., the World Series champion with the Cubs from a decade ago. He's here on a minor league deal. He also pitched, as well as a couple notable minor leaguers and some prospects like Mitch Voigt, for instance. But of course, the biggest story was those four regulars, and I wanted to run through some of my observations and takeaways for you from watching that game here at Clover Park. Let's start with Polanco because this is a big deal. He's making that transition to first base in a Mets uniform this spring, and he didn't get any ground balls, nor did Baty, who also played first in this game. But when we talked to him after the sim game at his locker, he was asked if it's been easier or harder to make this transition from what he had heard about playing first base. And he said that, a lot of people say it's easy, but it's actually a lot harder than you would expect. And my mind immediately went to that famous scene in the movie Moneyball where Brad Pitt and the actor Brent Jennings, who are playing Billy Beane and Ron Washington, are talking to Chris Pratt as Scott Hatterberg, telling Scott that he was going to play first base. And Billy Beane is like, it's easy to play first, right? Tell him Wash. And then the actor playing Ron Washington says, no, it's incredibly difficult. And that's the sense here, right? That there's a lot of footwork, there are different issues with timing. And when I asked Polanco specifically what play he wants to experience this spring as he continues to make the transition, he talked about those ground balls to his right, where you have to make that split-second decision if you're going to let the ball go back to the base so the second baseman makes that play, or try to get over quickly, cut it off, and then you got to throw to a moving target with the pitcher covering. It's the same kind of conversation we've been having with Bo Bichette over at third and all the different plays that he wants to experience this spring as he learns a new position on the other side of the infield. Polanco also went deep in this sim game. He homered off of Waddell in his first at-bat, and that reminded me of that game in the ALDS this past October where Polanco from the right side homered twice off Tarek Skubal. It's that short, compact swing, capitalizing on a lefty, leaving a ball on the inner third. And it seemed like it was a mistake pitch from Waddell, and Polanco took it out right below the scoreboard and straight away left. His numbers from the right side are particularly good when you look back at his splits in 2025. We all know him for the skills with runners in scoring position, the way that he can put a quality at bat together, fight in the box, and put the ball in play, hit behind a runner, all that good stuff. But there is some thump from the right side for Polanco too. I think more than anything, he's got to figure out how to produce from the left side too. If he's hitting behind Juan Soto, and you talk about protection and filling Pete Alonso's shoes, I don't think the Mets have to worry as much about him on the right side. It was good to see him already producing in a big way from a power perspective. A jump to Christian Scott real quick, who also spoke at his locker after the inter squad. And he was talking about how it's nice to just be a normal pitcher again, right? He missed all of last year. There was so much hype surrounding him going into the 2024 season when he made he got his first taste of big league action with the Mets. What stood out to me watching him pitch today was the fastball. And I know that's a big deal with his prospect profile and what we've seen from him at all the different levels within the organization. That pitch had some serious life. And my question as we go into this, getting closer to opening day and the beginning of the season, because he'll in all likelihood go to AAA to start the year, barring a barrage of pitching injuries for the Mets. What does the depth chart look like after those first 5 and 6 big league starters? Is it Jonah Tong, Christian Scott, Justin Hagenman, and then Jack Wenninger? Or is it a different order? I think the Mets have to, figure that out. Who's going to be that first call up whenever the Mets do face some sort of injury adversity early on? Alvarez was catching. This is the first time we've seen him in-game catching this spring. He had DH'd in a spring game. I believe that was yesterday at this point. Today's Thursday. Maybe that was Wednesday. All the days kind of blend together at this point. But he hit a line drive to very deep center field, and it was run down by Eli Serrano III, who is a former fourth-round pick, and he's considered the number 10 prospect in the Mets organization by MLB Pipeline. Really nice running catch. Alvarez put some good wood on it, though, and that's a good sign for him as he works in and gets some at-bats. And Robert didn't do anything offensively that really stood out. I guess it's worth noting also that he wasn't playing in the field. He was just DHing in this sim game, and the Mets are definitely taking it slow with him and the lower body injuries that he's had in the past. I'm sure that we'll see him in the outfield soon, but it hasn't happened just yet. And again, he was in there as a DH. I thought also that Baty looked really good at first base. Someone on Twitter shared one of my posts with a picture or a video of him over there and said he looks like a natural. And I would agree. His footwork looked good. He looked smooth over there. He caught a line drive from Alvarez, snagged a couple throws across the diamond, and was going to catch a pop fly. But then Mitch Voit, the former first-round pick for the Mets, called him off. Voit was playing second. So it was an eventful day here in Port St. Lucie. Again, McLean pitched extraordinarily well. I think it was 4 innings, 6 strikeouts, no runs allowed against the Astros. And that was his last tune-up before he joins Team USA for the World Baseball Classic.